Welcome back to Entertain Me, the show where we cover all the stories shaping Hollywood from SoCal to the silver screen. I'm your host, Heather Brooker. Today, well, we've got some more, bad news, you might call it, from Hollywood. We're talking about the latest FilmLA report, which shows a 13% drop in filming across the greater Los Angeles area in the third quarter. But don't despair. There is good news ahead. Thanks to California's newly expanded film and TV tax credits, there's more incentive-backed productions that are gearing up to shoot here in the coming months. Joining me today is Sokoloski, Vice President of FilmLA. We're going to unpack these numbers and find out what they really mean for the local entertainment workforce and when we might see that long-awaited rebound. Okay, Philip, this new report shows a 13% dip in filming from last year. Can you talk about what's driving that decline?
Yes. So if you look into the production numbers, as you noted, we have a 13.2% drop overall. We track production by category, and by far the biggest category to take a hit this quarter was reality television production, which oddly earlier this year saw a bit of a spike in activity, but resumed its downward trend here in the third quarter.
You mentioned in the report that the new incentive-backed projects are starting to show positive early signs. What are some examples of productions returning or expanding in LA?
Well, in July, the California Film Commission issued an award to 22 new projects coming to the state of California, and very fortunately, 18 of those are slated for production here in greater Los Angeles. We're starting to take calls. We're starting to get calls from producers lining up their locations and their permits for production, but because they have 180 days to begin production from the date of their incentive award, it's still a little early to see the full impact of that production here in the streets.
So how soon do you think that will translate into more on-location workdays?
Well, the good thing is the jobs benefits will happen even before it is reflected in FilmLA data. You'll probably see it begin to take an effect in the fourth quarter of this year, and then on an ongoing capacity, it should build because the Film Commission awards projects in different funding rounds throughout the year. So the more projects that they bring online through the recently expanded funding and eligibility, the greater the jobs impact for the region.
Now, you mentioned that television took the biggest hit this quarter, especially in reality TV and drama. How much of that is the lingering after effects from the strikes versus the long-term shifts in the industry?
Everything you see in this report is fully reflective of the state of play on the ground as things were previous to the tax credit announcement. And that's just because there hasn't been enough time for the tax credit to take effect yet and to really be visible in the data. But we have 120 jurisdictions who are aggressively seeking this business, some of whom have emerged to become major competitors to California. And so we can't take any project for granted. To bring a single feature film or television show back is a major accomplishment, and we should be celebrating that.
It seems like we just have a continuous stream of bad news when it comes to the entertainment industry. Is there any hope left out there for the entertainment industry? Give me some good news.
Well, there are a couple of things. One is that I know there's another announcement from the California Film Commission due out soon that will take a look at new feature film projects brought back to the state. And I believe we're going to see that within a week or so. So that'll be good. That's additional work, additional employment opportunity for California-based crews who've really been suffering through an unprecedentedly difficult time. The other thing is that on a local level, there is an increased amount of interest in supporting production through various programs and modifications to make the permit process and the opportunity to film here as easy as possible. So whether it's with the County of Los Angeles or the City of Los Angeles, everyone is interested in examining how they've been approaching filming and looking to find ways to facilitate it. And that's been a very exciting conversation to be having.
I know a lot of people are worried about the future of the industry, and, it does seem very dire. And I have to ask, do you think we're still going to be having these same conversations a year from now or 6 months from now?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but I sincerely believe that because of how low production levels are now, that to be having the same conversation a year from now sounds next to impossible. 2024 was the very worst year on record apart from the COVID year for production, and we haven't been tracking that well against it to date. So I think it's only up from here, especially since we have new production supports in place at the state level and an increased interest in saying yes to filming here on behalf of every local official that has a say. I do believe we'll be in a much better place next year, and so I'd invite you to ask me that question again 12 months from now.
I will, and maybe even 6 months from now or a couple months from now.
Thank you so much, Phil. I really appreciate your time.
Take care.
That's Philip Sokoloski from FilmLA, and I'm so glad we get to sit down and talk more in depth about what's happening in the film and television industry. I know a lot of people are concerned about their jobs, their livelihood, their homes, and it's an important issue, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity to go more in depth and share the information that we have. So thank you guys so much for listening to Entertain Me. If you would, please hit subscribe on that button and maybe even share the show with some friends. I appreciate you. Also, don't forget, this week I'll be at the Ice House Comedy Club on October 18th, Saturday night show, 9:30. And October 30th, come on out, 8 o'clock. I'll be performing with comedian Drew Lynch. We'll love to see you guys out there, and let's just keep entertaining each other, shall we? Thanks for listening. Remember, you can listen to Entertain Me anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.